Hi, welcome. Just pinning. It takes some time to connect and start the live stream. And since I had some issues yesterday, as you can see, you cannot turn on the camera today, unfortunately, because I used the same Zoom link, so I didn't want to have any of those issues. So we are just going to. I think that we are actually up and streaming. So if you are if you see this in the Facebook group, you are not late. It's me who are a little bit late. But if you see this in the Facebook group, make sure that you do click on the Zoom link and come and join us inside Zoom, because I'm not going to look at the questions during the live that is in the Facebook group. So if you have any questions, you want to be in the room with us, and you want to ask questions, I have the chat open to chat with me, so I can answer any questions that you might have. You need to come and join inside of the Zoom, okay? So we are going to kick off also the recording. So many things to think about when you are multi-streaming, isn't it? So I can share that before we start the recording. I use Restream to multi-stream the Zoom room. And since Facebook removed the API access about, I don't know, it's 1 year ago and a little more than 1 year ago, you need to use custom streaming to stream into Facebook groups. So you first need to stream to Restream, and then in Restream, you need to use the custom streaming to stream into a Facebook Live, and then from the Facebook Live, click Go Live. So it's so many steps that wasn't necessary before. So just let me start the recording of this as well if something happens. So we have a recording. Perfect. So we are going to continue today. And as you see, if you are inside of the Zoom, you can send DMs to me, and also but today you can't start the camera. We had some issues yesterday, and I didn't want to need to look at the videos they pop up. Since I have pinned my video, I only see you as small pictures. So I didn't see the videos yesterday. So that is why you can't start the camera, because I used the same Zoom link. I didn't want to change the Zoom link for today. So unfortunately, that is going to be how it looks today. So it's a little bit webinar style, and that is not my style. I don't use, as you see, webinar, the Zoom webinar. I use Zoom, an ordinary meeting. And the reason for that is that I thrive on energy. So I really thrive on the people that participate, their energy. That is why I love everyone to be able to start their camera, because that is how you get the energy going, and you can see people and you can connect with people. That is actually why I don't use Zoom webinars or any webinar platform when I do virtual events. That I usually get that question, why do you use a Zoom room? Because why aren't you using any type of the amazing webinar tools that is out there? That is the reason. But there are amazing webinar tools out there. I actually have a lot of experience from Zoom webinars, if that is something you would like to use, and it's cheap compared to a lot of these webinar streaming platforms, because they are expensive, right? So that is why we use a Zoom, an ordinary Zoom room. But that is because I love to have the cameras on that I'm not going to have today. So let's kick off from yesterday. And I hope you get a lot of value from yesterday and have a lot of energy to going into this session. If you haven't watched yesterday's training, they are both on YouTube. And if you get this in an email, I have linked both sessions. But also if you go to my YouTube or inside of the Virtual Entrepreneurcity Facebook group, they are there. The replays are going to stay there, okay? So you can rewatch this and you can go back and they're going to stay on YouTube. As you know, Facebook also now remove after 30-day live streams. So inside the membership that everybody's going to get an invite to today, we have a way of actually removing the live stream and upload a video, so we can kind of save all the videos that we have and they are not removed. But that is also why we stream this on YouTube, so it stays on YouTube, okay? If you haven't watched it. So make sure that you go and watch that session. And if there was anyone here, we closed the Zoom room yesterday. So if there is anyone here that tried to join the Zoom room yesterday, we had some issue with participants. So we actually closed the Zoom room about, I would say 25 minutes in or something. And so if you want to go back and watch it, if you couldn't join inside of the room and you have questions, make sure you send them to me, because at the end of this session, I'm going to make sure you get all the questions answered. If anything pops up, yeah, you have the Virtual Entrepreneurcity Facebook group. Just ask. Don't go and think about question. If you have a question, somebody else has the same questions, but they might not even think about it, okay? So today is day 2. And I just want to say, first of all, it shows commitment, and I'm really proud of each and every one that shows up and actually do the work and implement. But as I said, like I said yesterday, I believe in, if nothing changes, nothing changes. And what I don't want for you is that you go back on Monday and implement nothing, right? So that is why I really want you to take this with you. And for the ones that joins the Virtual Entrepreneurcity membership, we are going to meet on Monday for our first session to start creating your groups and do all the strategic kind of groundwork. But if you don't, make sure that you also take what you learned and actually implement it, because otherwise you are just collecting information, and information doesn't create transformation. Action taking does, right? So make sure that you do, and that you're not only dipping your toe. I believe to jump out of the plane when doing something, if we just dip the toe, nothing is going to happen. We need to go fully in, right? So make sure that you take whatever you learn here and implement, okay? So a quick recap from yesterday, but if you haven't watched the session, go back and watch it. I'm going to send out the links to the YouTube where you find the replay. But we talked about how the online space have changed, right? We talked about what it actually means to sell today. We have a longer buying cycle. People are more skeptical. Buyers are also way more educated and smarter, right? Compared to how there was before, and we need to sell in a different way. And we live in a trust recession, and it takes longer to build trust with our audience compared to what we needed before. So one of our goals inside all of our programs is to build trust as fast as possible. And you need to have a way of doing that. We can't only rely on just posting online, because you are now up to maybe 9 months of content that people need to watch before they trust us. If we never connect, we don't have any kind of conversations and all those kind of things. So I want you to move away from kind of be passive and into being active with your audience. So actually go out and start connections and start having conversations with those people. And then we have strategies that shorten the buying cycle. And the one that we're going to talk about today, that is kind of small virtual events that you can host inside of a Facebook group to get people in, but also to build like, know, and trust and sell to those people all in one go. That is one way of doing it, right? We also talked about that simplicity should be what you should search for. Every time I feel something doesn't work, or I spend too much time or whatever, I look in a way, how can I simplify this? And I started, my first fitness business was so complex and so complicated. And ever since, I'm looking always for a way to simplify things. And when you simplify, you multiply, okay? We talked about that you should get very clear with who you are talking to. But this I want to say with niching down is that you can't do that in a vacuum. It's way better to go out there and start having conversations, even if you're niche or you are not super clear with who you want to work with, right? Than trying to sit in a vacuum behind the screen and make it perfect, because It's just not going to happen. I have been in 6-month programs where I could see people after 6 months still were niching down behind the computer. And the people that went out there with an unperfect niche, they have accelerated way above them, right? So don't try to make it perfect. Just make sure that you listen to what they say and how they say it. So whatever language they use, whatever words they use, however they describe things, that is the language you want to have in your content. Otherwise, you are speaking above their head and they're not really going to get it. Right? And confused people are not attracted. Confused people will not buy, and they're not going to be able to see you. Okay. We talked about how to fill your group with the right people, how to use the right messaging. We also talked a little bit about naming your group. And here I say clear over clever always, in all copy, of course, but especially here. You can always rename the group. But if you're just starting out and you want to use your group to attract only your dream client, you want to kind of have the name that is either result driven or speak directly to that person. So let's say you help people lose weight with keto. You can name your group Lose Weight with Keto or Keto Weight Loss for Women or whatever, because when you start getting engagement in your group, what's going to happen is the algorithm is going to push out your group. And if the title, only the title is attractive to people and it speaks directly to your audience, they will click and ask to join. And I'm not talking now about building large Facebook groups where you collect a lot of people that might not be a good fit. I talk about specifically built now group to nurture, build, like, know, and trust with your dream client, nobody else. Okay. We also talked about how important it is to step into this category of one and be very clear with who we are here to serve and be leaders. And we're going to talk more about that today, because one of your roles on the online space is lead your dream client. And in all virtual events we built the content to lead people into making a decision about whatever it is that we are selling, right? We also talked about lead generation, right? And lead generation is something that a lot of people is a very strategic thing that they do. For us, it's energy. For us, it's invitation. For us, it's leading with being of service to people, because lead generation is being of service to people. When I sent out an email inviting people to join one of my workshops, I have zero me standing in my own way, because I know how valuable that workshop is. So I am loud and I am proud about the way that I help people inside of that workshop. So I can send out as many invites as I feel, because I really know the value and the transformation these workshops are going to have on people, even if they don't work with me. Okay. And that is the feeling that I want you to have and understand. You need to understand the value you bring to your table inside of your group, in your content, in your workshops, whatever it is that you're doing. Understand the value of the transformation that you provide. Then you're not going to stand in the way and hand out invitations. And I said that your energy to hand out invitations needs to match the energy of the expectations of what you have that this is going to do for you. If you run a masterclass, for an example, and you want to make $10,000 from that masterclass, your diligence, your consistency, frequency, all those kind of things to hand out those invitations needs to match what you want. Otherwise, we have hosting parties, we don't invite any guests, and then we get bummed when nobody showed up. People are not just going to show up. You need to invite them, okay? And then we ended to talk a little bit about what we're going to do today, because we talked about the lead funnel, and your group is going to be part of the lead funnel if you choose to have a Facebook group. Because you're going to have your audience on the top, and then you're going to invite them and then enter your lead funnel as a lead. Right? So the audience are not leads. You can have an audience of 2,000 people. They are not leads. They are just people. You want them inside of your ecosystem where you can start building the like, know, and trust and sell to these people in a faster way than all the other people that are just following your content. So you invite them into something, and that can be, for an example, your group or your workshop or your freebie. So they enter the top. Then the middle part is the like, know, and trust. This is where you nurture your lead. And that is more important than ever. And then the last one is lead conversion. So lead generation, lead nurturing, and lead conversion. And the events that we're going to talk about today, the small pop-up events that you can run, these are not built to be huge launches like we do in the Launch Academy. In the Launch Academy, we built out a long launch cycle that runs over maybe 4 to 5 weeks, where we do an entire launch that goes in cycle. This is something you can do between. These are small kind of masterclasses, small pop-up events that can be anything from 15 minutes to an hour, and that we're going to talk about today. Those are going to cover the entire lead funnel, because you're going to invite people to join top of funnel. You're going to host your event, which is going to nurture those people like we do now, right? You build like, know, and trust. And then we invite them to join our offers, which means they are very powerful. And at the same time, you grow a community, a group where your dream clients are going to hang around. Only your dream clients. We're not going to invite anyone else. We're going to invite the first people that we want to work with. Okay. And this we kind of covered a little bit yesterday, but now we're really going to dig in to this funnel. And any questions, just send them to me here in the chat. I have opened the chat to send DMs to me. So send any questions along this way, and I'm gonna make sure that we get all questions answered, okay? So the reason why I so strongly believe in hosting small trust building events inside of Facebook group, or you can use stream them on YouTube or on your Facebook, whatever, is that the trust recession is really strong, and there is a lot of way to shorten the trust cycle, or the cycle that people go from cold to sold. What we can see when it comes to different kind of content is that video content is the absolute best way to build like, know, and trust, because they see you, right? They see you, they hear you, they can feel on your energy. And your energy is what's going to attract people to want to work with you or not. That is what's going to set you aside. I am not for everyone, right? And everyone is not for me, and that is okay. And that is why I always say that your virtual events, no matter what they are going to build your dream clients for you. Because the one that likes you, they're going to stay. The one that feel this is not for me, this energy is not for me, you are not the person, they're going to leave. And that is a good thing. That is how we start becoming the category of one, is when we start repelling the wrong kind of people as well. That is why I love them, because they repel the wrong people. They build the dream client for you. You build your list, right? Because you invite people, but mostly they grow the trust, and they do it in a very, very fast way. And now when we are in this kind of trust recession, and people have a tendency to, can I believe this or not believe this? Can I trust this person? Whatever, those are standing out. So the way that we did virtual events before, entire cycles, we use Facebook group. When I built my fitness business, when I did it in 2019, when I launched this business that I still have today, we used Facebook Live, we used Facebook group. And then we moved out from Facebook group during the pandemic, because everybody was so used to be on Zoom, so it works so well. But we kept streaming in Facebook groups. So this is the same strategy that we have used all the time. It went down a little when Facebook kind of slowed down group, but they are back. Okay, the more energy you have in the group, more engagement, the more Facebook is going to push out your group, because they are alone on the market to have this setting that a Facebook group actually have. Okay. So if we look at your social media today, or the way that you sell kind of today, you can sell in multiple different ways. But if you kind of feel that it has slowed down, you are not alone. If you feel that your content is not converting the way that it did before, yeah, everybody feel the same way. Not only you, there is a huge part of the market that feels that sales has slowed down, okay? And they are looking to different kind of way to increase the speed of building trust, okay? And the thing is that what you do not need to provide more to your audience is content, right? Because content is out there already. It's a lot of noise, and we don't want to add more noise to the market. You want to have a way to build trust very fast with your dream clients. So that usually when we don't see sales coming in, we just push out more content. And your audience are already bombarded with content. They need clarity. They need leadership. They need someone to say, hey, I got you. I'm going to lead you through here. And you can trust me. This is me. This is how I show up. And this is how I lead. And this is the energy I provide. This is the expertise that I have. Right? And that is a virtual event. And they don't need to be complicated. So we need to separate a little bit from doing bigger live launches to small kind of pop-up events. And when I created this strategy back in 2019, I called it the pop-up group method. That was the first name because we used pop-up groups. So we created small groups that was targeting just that event. And then that felt kind of exhausting because it took a lot of work to always create new groups. So what I did was that I rethought it and thought, okay, if I have one dream client, why can't I stay in one group and run different kind of small events inside of that group? And that is how the name pop-up groups kind of disappeared from the way that we kind of do it inside my offers. But that is what actually came from. And that can be a small masterclass. It can be a 30-minute live stream. It can be a 3-day training. You can actually run a 5 little challenge inside of a group, right? You can invite them to join a Zoom room. You can invite people to watch a live stream on YouTube. It really doesn't matter where it is. It's built in a way to attract the right kind of people, build trust, but also lead people into making a decision about joining your program. So they are built, it's not only kind of there to stream and show your expertise, the content is built to lead people into making a decision. It shortens the buying cycle, it builds real connection, two-way communication like we have here, and it moves people from looking around to become buyers, okay? And if we look at the market today, it have shifted, and we are flooded with content that kind of lacks soul. There's a lot of, I don't know how to explain it, empty content. It's just content. It's just words, but there is nothing behind it. There is not a personal brand or a person behind it. And that you can see everywhere. Like if you need help somewhere and you are going to call them, who do you end up with talking to? AI. There is someone, a bot or something that leads you. If you go to a chat on someone's page or a platform's page, it's AI. It's very hard today to actually get to speak to a person. So it's exclusive. It's actually exclusive to see and be around people in human connection in this setting, right? It's exclusive. It's almost like VIP here, right? So your dream client, and I want you to write this down. They need realness. Is that even a word? They need realness, real, okay? They want to feel something. They want to have this human connection and feel something. They want to feel that you understand them. They want to feel that you believe in them. They want to feel you, and they want to trust someone, because these people are going to hand out their hardworking cash to you, and they want to trust you before they buy. That is why it's important to give before you ask for the sale, because people need to learn before they invest. They need to trust before they invest. They need to feel before they invest, right? They want to believe that this time is going to be different, because you need to understand that a lot of your audience I don't think it does matter what niche you're in, but your audience has bought a lot of things. They have heard the promises, they have seen the hype, they have bought courses, programs, whatever, And their kind of skepticism a little bit, but also the way that they say, I really hope that this is going to work. You want to convey that message so they don't think, I hope this is going to work. You want them to think, this is going to work. And you are the person, and I'm going to let you lead me to the result that I want, because I trust you and I believe that your energy, your expertise, and who you are and your convictions are actually going to be there for me. I mean, when someone goes above and beyond to help you, you are more likely going to invest in that person than someone that says, no, 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 I'm not going to be there. Okay. But if someone says, okay, I'm going to help you, I'm going to lead you, I'm going to show you the way, you're more likely to invest in that person. People need to have enough information and to actually be able to make that decision. Right? I know that there is a lot of people that are very afraid that they give away too much free stuff when they do events and things like that. That is not going to happen. You can't give away too much free things. First of all, it will never ever be the same. You can provide as much information you want. People are still not getting the result, because if that was the case, we would all be rich, we would all be skinny, we would all have everything that we wanted in life, the perfect marriage, the perfect whatever. We don't, because information is out there. Now it's more accessible than ever. But still, people, your audience, your dream client, don't have the result that they want, which means the information alone is not enough. It's the leadership, it's your expertise, it's your roadmap, it's your whatever you have inside of your program that makes people go from here to actually get the result. That is what they need. You can't give that away. It's impossible, right? If I wanted to teach you everything about how to set up the group, the settings, the titles, building the event, do the lead generation, nurture people, doing sales every day, sending DM invites, all the things that we have inside of the membership, we would be here for month after month, month, right? It's not possible. But you can overwhelm people because they already have the information they need. They don't need more information, but they need enough to make a decision, because there is no one out there that ever said, like, I don't believe in this. I don't think that this can work for me. You taught me absolutely nothing. You shared no expertise. You didn't give me anything. But yes, take my money. Right? Nobody said that. We wouldn't say that. That is why it's important to serve, provide, and give before we receive. And when we do that, we're going to get back, right? And I have if we look at the buyer, so that is you. If we look at the buyers, we have these kind of core, what do you call them? Buying triggers, or psychological buying triggers, actually. So the first people need, and this you can think about in all your content, all your emails, all the things that you do when you want to sell something. And you want to sell to everyone, because that is how we change the world. But how you're going to lead people. The first thing that they need is social proof, right? They see kind of, when you do an event, for an example, they see real people in the room, engaging and getting value. And that kind of reinforces that this is legit. When we run our virtual events, we have a lot of clients joining because they know it's so valuable. And there is always something, even if it's the same event or they have access to that times 100, they still join because there is always something, right? And if you have a client joining a virtual event, that means this is legit. This is not something that I can't trust, right? It might be that you don't have any testimonials and things yet. Then you can use stories that talk about brands and talk about other people that have gotten the result. But people need social proof. It's a psychological buying trigger that people have. The second thing people need is the scarcity. And I'm not talking about fake scarcity, like I closed the door on Friday, then the doors are still open, whatever. It's not that I'm talking about. I'm talking about they need a reason to act now. Because if they don't, procrastination is going to knock on the door and they are going to open and they're gone. We all know it. We all do it. So there needs to be a natural kind of urgency when you sell. And that can be built in a lot of different kind of way, but I'm not talking about fake things. That is not something that I stand behind. But for an example, it can be a bonus that goes away. It can be an extra little call with you. There's a lot of way to create urgency, but also in your messaging. Why is it so important that your audience join now and not next week? Why is it now and not next week? When we work with weight loss, we use that when it comes to look good in a bikini. You need to start dieting in January, for an example, right? People can actually imagine it. So there's a lot of way to create that. Then we have the reciprocity. And this is what I just talked about. When you give value first, you are going to receive back, right? That is what's going to happen. And you need to give first. You need to add value, show your expertise, show who you are, share your story, share your conviction behind your entire business. Why do you do what you do? You need to give first. We can't get first and then give. That is not how it works, right? The fourth thing that people need is, of course, authority. And you're going to be a leader. And that is why I love events, because they separate a lot of people. Because this is your chance to show that you're a leader, not only in your content, the way that you do your content, and you show up as a leader because you talk about uncomfortable stuff. You stand your ground about the way that you help people. You are loud and you are proud about your business. That is one thing. Here, you can show how you lead people. And in the content that you create for your small events, it's going to lead people into making a decision. And that is a lot of small pieces, but it's also energy. It's a lot of energy. And it might not happen the first time. I'm just going to say it. I mean, if I wish I had my first event recorded, it should be so fun to watch that today. But I don't. But I wish I did, because I have done 380 of these live events, a lot of them. And I still mess things up, forget to record and stuff like that. But I can hold energy. But I couldn't do it. And inside, when we talk about becoming a bold speaker, you go through stages. So it's not going to happen the first time, but it's one of the psychological benefits people have. They buy from authority people. If you have someone stands on a stage and speak here, and you have someone that do exactly the same thing here, but is hiding, you're more likely to trust that person because it's an authority figure. That is why speaking is one of the greatest way to build authority, because you believe in people that stand up and speak. The last thing, the fifth thing that they need is the emotional connection. You speak to their goals, the dreams, desires, struggles in a way that they understand in their language, and create this that you understand them and they feel like, wow, you're describing it exactly like I would. Yeah, because I listened and I just said it back to you. That is the reason why, right? So if you pay attention and you really listen to your dream clients and you read what they write and stuff like that, I can promise you, you can create the emotional connection even in a just text post on social media, but it's more powerful like this, right? So those are the five: social proof, scarcity, reciprocity, authority, and emotional connection. Those are the five buying triggers. Think about those in everything that you do where you want to sell something, okay? So when you show up live and lead from this place in a small little event, you don't just inform people, you activate them. You don't just teach people, you move people. You lead people from where they are struggling over here to conveying your messaging. And they're sitting there saying, oh my God, this is why I haven't gotten the result that I needed. And this is what I need instead. And you are the person that is going to lead me to it. Right? So that is kind of why an event work. But I also want, when I talk about these small events, people are kind of a little bit scared because they are huge. I need to create slides. I need to do perfect, whatever. Nah, nothing like that. I am not a slides person. I rarely use slides. I did slides yesterday for my client's workshop, but that is a total different things. And I messed it up. I messed it up yesterday, so I need to kind of re-record because it just was a mess. I'm not a slides person. I can't create slides. They don't look good. And if I have them, I just get distracted. I can't do that, right? It's not my energy, but it might be yours. If you teach something that is very technical, for example, you might want to use slides, but they don't need to be perfect. You can actually see that imperfect slides and simple slides with just text perform way better and create way more focus than fancy bubbling slides. Because what happened with these fancy, there is a lot of things going on, is that the eye and the focus of the listener, they stop listening and they start looking. Ooh, like this. And all of a sudden the ear closes. And it's way better that they listen than watch your fancy, whatever you have on your slides. So you don't need to have perfect slides. Don't worry. You don't need any fancy title. Boring, simple is way better. It's way better to be clear than to try to be clever. No one gets that. If I would have run an event about helping people lose weight with keto, I would have it the Keto Weight Loss Challenge or something for women in menopause. This is the biggest mistake that I ever did, because when I launched my first 5-day challenge, I built an entire 5-day challenge. It was amazing. And I knew, because I worked with women in menopause that wanted to lose weight, I knew as an expert that the biggest problem they had was they saw food as an enemy. And I wanted to change that. What I didn't realize is that they don't understand that. They just wanted to lose weight and look good in a bikini. They didn't care about changing way they see food. So I named my workshop, my 5-day challenge, Change the Way You See Food. Who would sign up for that? I got some signups, but there were very few, right? So when I then hired a coach and that taught how to build 5-day challenges, only thing I changed with that 5-day challenge was the title. I didn't change the content. I didn't change the offer. I didn't change anything more than the title. From Change the Way You See Food to Lose Weight Without Giving Up the Cupcake. Which one is more clear? Which one is more attractive? Which one would they say? Yeah, lose weight without giving up anything, right? So it's way better. You don't need fancy titles or spend hours and hours digging a hole for yourself. You don't need a huge audience. The best thing with these small little pop-up events, you can do it for 5 people, right? You can do it for 3 people. It doesn't matter. When we do bigger launches, we want to have some people in the room, right? Because we put a lot of energy. But even there, you should know that 85% of all webinars on the market runs with less than 50 attendees, right? That is how the webinar market works. So there is not a large audience there either, right? But these small things, I usually get that question, how large group do I need to have? 5 people. You just need 5 people, and then you go and sell to these 5 people. What are we waiting for? Why are we waiting until we have 100, 200, 500? I don't get it. You just need some people, right? So no need of a huge audience. What you do need is a clear result-based topic or title for your little event. So whatever you want to run inside of the group, your small little masterclass, let's call it a masterclass, simple result-driven title. You need to do direct invites. You need to go out. We talked about it yesterday, to invite people to actually watch it. So you go out and say, hey, I'm doing a workshop or a masterclass, let's call it a masterclass, about how to XYZ, would you like to join? Okay, and there's a lot of lead generation strategies. I'm going to share inside of the Virtual Entrepreneurcity Facebook group. I have a guide with 50 strategies, but don't use all of them. Okay, but I mean, you can post on social media, send email, create a Facebook or LinkedIn event, invite people, and then do direct messaging. I can promise you that is going to give you hundreds of people joining, without a doubt. Okay. So you need to do invites. So a title on your little event, you need to do invites to this little event, and you need to have an energy that activates the people, right? So, and that takes a little bit of time, but to become really good, we need to do things. You become the best by running the reps. Every athlete out there became the best by running the reps. You know, you need to be willing to run the reps of things, no matter what it is, okay? It's not going to happen the first time, and that is totally okay, okay? But you want to think about that to work on your energy. And that is usually tied back to you believing in the way that you help people. Because when you do, when your conviction is very, very strong, there is no problem by by activating people with energy, right? And you need to have a clear next step, and that is your offer. That is your offer. You need to be very clear with what you're going to sell to these people. Okay, very clear when it comes to offers, and that is the next thing that we're going to talk about. Because if you have an alignment here, so you invite people and you hold good energy, and then you provide a very unclear offer, or an offer that is not a match to that person, it doesn't matter how good your event is. It doesn't matter how good your energy is. They're not going to buy that. People do not buy random stuff, right? So what you're going to do is that you're going to provide what they want, and in your offer, you're going to provide what they need to get what they want. That is how it works, right? My dream client want to get more clients in a more simple way. They want to free up time. They want to have a system that do lead generation, nurturing, and sales in one go, so they can spend their time on other things, right? Inside of my offers, the Launch Academy, but also in the Virtual Entrepreneurcity, that is what I provide to get them there, right? So you need to provide what it is that they want, and then you give them what they need to achieve that, right? And so what you kind of do when you do an event is that you kind of show up and move people. And inside of the Virtual Entrepreneurcity, we talk about a little bit about the content, but what you can think about inside of the content is that the content are, of course, going to teach a little bit. That is obvious. That is what we do here. But you also want to think about what are their mindset blocks, their objections, for an example, and what stories can I tell to convey that? Because I don't believe that we handle objection. I think that is very odd, because I believe in conveying a message. And if I know that time is a big issue, I'm going to make sure that in my virtual event, I cover that. So they understand that this is going to save me time, or I'm not adding more time. I have said to you that this entire thing is going to replace like 80% of all the things that we are doing on our in our business today. So it saves time. So that is how you want to convey the message in the content. So that you can think about mindset blocks are huge. Why are they are standing in their own way for a reason? They usually don't see the bigger picture. They don't believe that this is possible. You want to make sure that when you go through your little event and all in your content, you target that, and also any type of objections your audience might have. And time is one of the biggest today in all audience. It doesn't kind of matters. Okay. So then when we have created your group, you have a title to the group, you create a little event that you're going to run in the groups, you start inviting people, you think about, make sure that you cover mindset blocks and objections inside of your content. You need to sell. Otherwise, nothing is going to happen. I mean, you can't change the world if you don't sell. Okay, that is obvious. We are not going to have a business, of course, but you're not helping anyone, because you can't transform people's lives with free stuff. That is not possible. The big transformation, the real transformation, happen first of all inside of your offers, where they have everything they need. But also when people invest, there is a money exchange, and the money is going to be the energy of the investment, and people get some kind of skin on the game and actually do the work, right? So they go kind of a little bit hand in hand. So if we look at the offers, the truth kind of is that when we look at offers, we usually kind of don't have bad offers, but we kind of confuse people with our offers because we don't speak clear enough about them. So we try to sell in a way that is a little bit vague, so people don't really understand, or too complex. So we add too much information about the offer, especially when we do sales calls. Usually that's when we talk too much. So we actually talk too much about our offers, okay? So either we talk a little bit too vague about it, or we too complicated, too complex, or we speak to what we think the client needs instead of speaking to what they actually say that they want. So this is to make sure that you sell what they want and you provide what they need inside of the offer to get them what they want. Because you can either ignore that they want to lose weight and look good in a bikini, or you can actually sell that and say, hey, I'm going to help you look good, lose weight and look good in a bikini inside of my keto weight loss program, right? So either you ignore that or you actually say that this is what I'm going to help you do. And this has nothing to do with promising a different result, because we all know there will be no result if we don't do the work. If she lays on the sofa and eats chips all day, yeah, she's not going to look good in a bikini, even if she has access to your program. So that is obvious, right? So think about, I have written down 3 questions that you can take with you and look at your offer. So you go to your offer and you ask yourself, what burning problem does my offer solve? The biggest. You might solve small different problems, but think about the biggest problem. What is the biggest problem that my offer actually solves? What transformation does my offer provide? And you want to make sure that you can describe this the way that your dream client would have said it, because you know the transformation, you can describe it, but that is usually not how they would say it. So when you answer these questions, make sure you answer them in the same language and in the same words that your dream client actually just described them for you. Okay. So what is the burning desire? The biggest burning problem, the transformation that is provided over the lap of the time that they are in your program, and how quick can you help them to get the result? And why do I speak about that? So what you want to think about is that your offer should have a quick win. It might not be the entire program. If you have a 12-month program, it might get 12 months to get the entire transformation, but you want to have a quick win. And we usually add it in the beginning of the offer. So for me, for an example, it's my clarity module and the profile optimization, because that little thing, I have built 4 sessions that goes very quickly, very deep, but very quickly through profitable niche, dream client work, one-line moneymaker, and the clarity of the offer. And then we take those 4 things and we go out and optimize our profiles. Huge win, because that amount of clarity have taken people month after month after month, and we do it in a week. So think about that. Quick win, and it shouldn't take maybe more than 30 days. But it can be in the beginning of your program. That doesn't mean your program should be 30 days. It can be a 12-month program, 6-month, 3-month, 4 weeks, it doesn't matter. But a quick win that should be achievable within 30 days. So think about that, okay? So, and the next thing when it comes to offer, stop hiding them. Be proud, right? Be proud, be loud, talk about your offer, share about your offer, right? Talk about it, do a post about it, send out an email about it. I mean, it's not about being salesy, it's about being of service to people. It's about you handing out an opportunity for your dream client to come and access a place and a space of solutions. That is being of service to people. We are not kind of forcing people to buy, but if you don't speak about your offer, no one is going to know you have them, first of all. That is going to be obvious, right? But also you need to practice to speak about your offer and be more passionate about your offer and talk about them with more pride and conviction than anybody on the entire planet could ever do. Because if you so strongly believe in your offer, it's going to help them to achieve what they want. It's going to be a trust like this, right? If you don't believe in your offer, nobody else is going to believe in your offer. And that comes down to pricing. I usually hear a lot about this. You need to charge more. You need to do this. You need to do that. I just say, what do you feel comfortable today? Not tomorrow, not yesterday, today, to say. Because if you say something that you don't believe, either too little, so you know you are selling yourself cheap, nobody's going to buy. But also, if someone told you, you need to charge more, And you do that. So you just say a bigger number, but you are so scared when you say it, nobody's going to buy it. And you can change, you're allowed to change your pricing tomorrow, next day, next day. It doesn't matter. So whatever you feel comfortable in just saying like this, yeah, I feel comfortable in saying 995, but I feel a little uncomfortable to say 1500. And I feel I sell myself short if I go under 500. 995 it is, or 997 or 1000 it is. You can always add more, right? Or you can go less. It doesn't matter. Because this is what I see so many struggle with. And so many coaches say that, oh, you need to charge high ticket. You need to charge more, 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 more. Yeah, of course, right? You can promise you are selling yourself short. But if the energy is not there with the pricing, it doesn't matter. It's not that you're gonna get people to buy just because you put a high price tag on a stuff that you don't believe in or you feel scared to even mention. Then it's way better to actually say what feels good to you today. Get a client, transform that people's lives, because that is going to make you feel awesome. And that's going to make that person get what they want. And then you can increase your pricing because you got a little more confidence in whatever it is that you are doing. Right? So you need to be standing your ground and be proud and be loud about your offers. Okay. And when you sell, this is the biggest thing I can say. When you sell in an event, of course, in the end of an event, but also when you sell anywhere, doesn't matter in an email, DM, whatever, it's a service. And I forbid almost my clients to use the word pitch. I said it yesterday because when my dream clients say, they say like, I feel pitchy or I don't like to pitch. I hate the word pitch. Who like to get pitched to? Elevator pitch. What is that? It's an invitation. You can just feel the energy. We are not pitching people to buy. We are inviting them to invest in themselves and let us lead them with our expertise and whatever we have inside. Different energy. That is energetic selling. I can't stand the pitching stuff. It's just an invitation. Some people will buy, some people will not buy. Totally fine, right? We are just handing out an invitation. It's a service to people. Because inside your offers, that is how the big transformation is going to happen. So when you feel strongly about your offer and you know your offer solves the problem, it gives the result in the way that my dream client described. I have a quick win and it's aligned, so they are a perfect match, right? And I feel, yes, this is my offer. I'm proud of it. This is my investment of the offer. I can say it with proud, right? You just hand out an invitation. So when you do any type of event or live stream and you're coming to the sales, the pitch, if we think about it as a pitch, it's going to be amazing, 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 awkward pitch because you feel pitch, right? But if you think about it, that I'm going to provide information, I'm going to serve my audience, and I'm going to hand out an invitation, good energy all the way. So I usually just say to people, when you wrap something up, you just say to people, I hope that you have loved what I have shared with you today. And if you are ready to take the next step to get XYZ, whatever your offer is, I have an invitation for you. That's it. That's the bridge. Don't make it more complicated than that. And then you sell them what they want, what they have said, and you inside your offers, you provide what they need to get to what they want, right? And that is the last part of the funnel. So the top part, you invite people to your group, but also to your little pop-up event. They're going to run in the group. You nurture them in the group. You make sure that you target mindset blocks and objections inside of your content. And that content almost works as a bridge from where they are here into your little offer over here, right? You make sure that your offer actually provide them what they want. You feel good about the pricing, no matter what it is. Don't listen to people that say you need to do this, you need to do that. Whatever feels good for you, that is the right pricing today. Might not be tomorrow, but today it is. Then you hand out an invitation, and that is the last part of the lead funnel. That is the lead conversion part. Okay? It's not more complicated than that. We make this very difficult, right? We make this very complicated. You can make this very complicated. You can do this. You can build a 55-page long sales funnel, and you can do all of these things inside of that funnel, but it's complex. That's why I love the simplicity. If you use Facebook, specifically on Facebook, you have a little group, collect people, run small events. Then outside of that group, that is where you run your bigger launches. That is what we do in the Launch Academy. We run bigger launches. We invite people from all platforms everywhere into bigger launches where we can convert people in the high numbers, right? Every 6 to 8 times per year. But this can get you sales every single day. Every single day you can get these sales because you're going to run your little event, and then you're going to follow up with people, you're going to connect with people, you're going to have conversations with people, and it's going to start selling every day to you, right? So we now talked a little bit that you can do all this without ads. You don't need a huge following. You need you, and you need an offer to sell, right? That is obvious. We need some people to sell to. And this process is going to be an all-in-one system, an all-in-one system. So I really hope this 2 days has been really valuable for you. And as I said in the beginning, I have an invitation for you. And I want to invite you into our membership. And inside that membership, we focus on foundation. Because what I see when people want to scale and they come and they want to join the Launch Academy, they might not afford the Launch Academy, might be a huge investment, but they usually lack the foundation of stuff. And if you look at big brands out there or big coaches, when something isn't working, what do? They go back to the basic, because you need to master the fundamentals in a business: lead generation, lead nurturing, and lead conversion. You need to hold your energy and learn how to lead people, to be able to show up live and show up on social media with proud and standing your ground. You need to understand your convictions. You need to be clear with who you are targeting. This is the fundamentals in business. And if you go to big brands, they are totally clear here. No confusion. If you click on their profiles, it's absolutely clear without a doubt what they do and who they work with and what they're all about, their conviction, their beliefs, right? But we kind of skip that because we want to jump over here, like I did, launched a fitness app, right? Spent thousands and thousands of dollars on an app. So the Virtual Entrepreneurcity is a membership, but it's not just a membership. It's not just a container. It's kind of a movement for people that are actually here to lead, to sell with energy, energetic selling, to be there for our audience, to understand what we actually do here. We are serving people, right? So what we do is built on energy. Are there strategy? Absolutely. Because otherwise it would just be fluff. It would just be a mess of fluff. But of course there is strategy, right? But I usually say that strategies alone is not going to take you anywhere. You can have all the lead generation strategies in the world, but if your mindset and belief system is not aligned with that, you're not going to hand out an invitation. So it doesn't matter, right? You have thousands of strategy, you get no leads. You can see it every day, right? So this is for you that either are totally starting out, then this is perfect. Or if you feel that you need to simplify your sales process, you want to maybe put together a Facebook group, or you might want to run this outside of Facebook. You want to make sales every single day in a more simple way, okay? And I am all for simplicity. I do not like complicated stuff. So inside, there is a lot of different kind of things that we are building out. So I launched that membership just a month ago because I saw a gap from the people that I wanted to work with, that I knew could do so amazing thing if they did launch cycling, which is my expertise inside of the Launch Academy. But there was a gap from where they are into the Launch Academy, and this closes that gap. So that is why we are building as we go. And now when I run this workshop, this is what we are building in this specific strategy to use a Facebook group and small pop-up events to close clients every single month. And that is going to turn into daily sales. But we don't only have that inside. So now, of course, we have the clarity, niche, dream client, offer, one-line money maker, and profile optimization, because that is where it all starts. Okay, so everyone starts with that, but we also go deep into messaging. We go into optimizing the profiles, of course, and then of course setting everything up for this, this workshop has been about, all the settings, running the groups, the settings in the group, the different live streams that you can do, StreamYard, Zoom, Restream, all those kind of things. And of course, you can run with either invite people to the group if you want to do this, but also landing pages where you collect the email addresses on a platform. So we have inside, do you need a lead generation funnel? I got one, you just copy it. Okay. If you use system, you can actually just copy the funnel. This is just going to move over and it's already there, or you can just copy it to another platform, right? We do all the data. We have all the things for the data, follow-up leads, the dream list. It's like the dream 100. I think you have heard about that, but I call it dream list because I don't think it needs to be 100. It can be 50 in the beginning, 20. It can be 1,000, right? When you are bigger. Email templates, lead trackers, segmentations of lead, all the kind of boring, I would just say boring stuff because I believe it's a little bit boring, but it's all already inside, right? But it's also about sales. It's also about growing an audience. It's also about doing lead generation, building freebies, right? You want to build a freebie, you might want to have a digital freebie. So this is the absolute fundamentals. But what we're going to focus on starting Monday is what we have done today. Okay, clarity, setting up the group, put together a little event, start inviting people to the group. You don't need to wait until you have an event. Run a little event with my support. Okay. We have every month one strategy, I will say strategy mindset session. We have one Q&A, and we have every single month, we also have a client workshop. I hosted one yesterday. So everyone that come in and join us inside of the Virtual Entrepreneurcity, you also get that masterclass. I hosted it yesterday, and that is about the difference between lead generation content and brand building content. So I'm going to provide that masterclass for you. And the investment to join the Virtual Entrepreneurcity is only $29 per month. So this is not any type of huge investment. It's affordable for everyone. And the value that you get is, of course, it's a live membership. So this is not built on resources, okay? Because you can join a lot of stuff where I'm going to share the link here. You can join a lot of stuff that have a massive amount of resources, but without kind of someone to guide us or without having clarity in what we're doing next, it's just resources, right? So we are building this live as we go. So we are closing gaps that we find. So when you join, you get a little form that I would love for you to just write, because that is you sharing, I would like to learn about this. I would like to learn about that. I would like to do this. This is what I feel I'm struggling with. Small, simple questions that is going to help me provide the resources needed. So I can identify where the gaps are here in the foundation of what things that we do, right? So that is why you're going to get a little form that I would love for you to invite. So if you join before Friday for $29 per month, and you can cancel anytime. You don't want to, but you can. I don't hold you a certain amount of month. Okay, you can join for 29 now, build your group, and then you can cancel. Okay, but then you miss out on everything that we're going to add throughout August, September, October, whatever. But there is no contract. I just want to mention that. So it's 29 per month, no contract. The first thing that is going to open up is the clarity. Okay, that is going to open up. Then on Monday, we do a little bit of a kickoff for what we have done today. So we start together with the people that are joining to build this out step by step. Then we take a break because I know it's the summer. If you can't join, you're going to have the recording. Okay, you don't need to worry about that. And then you start building it step by step, and it's instruction step by step. All my offers, all my programs is step by step, because I can't stand program that have is comprehensive, amazing, but you don't know where to go and when, and you waste so much time in searching, right? And there is no guidance step by step. So this is step by step. So what we start Monday is we add sessions step by step for everyone to follow. Click on here, create your group, set up these settings. Go here, open a Zoom account if you want to use Zoom. If you don't have Zoom, go here, do this, this, this. So just follow step by step. So there is no confusion. You can absolutely work on your own, but we build it out as we go. Okay, so the link is there, and you get me, of course, inside. Is my membership. Okay, you get me inside, but you also get Josephine Vanner, that is not here today because she have a vacation, so she is not here today. So Josephine Vanner is my business partner. She's a LinkedIn expert. So any questions about LinkedIn? She is also an offer creator expert, and she's gonna host the Design to Sell this autumn. Further along in the autumn, that you're going to get invited to join if you want to. So she's an expert in building offers, so she can use her expertise for that and for LinkedIn. And I, of course, my biggest platform is Facebook still. So Facebook is my thing. And Instagram was my thing in my fitness business. I was sold everything on Instagram. So you get both of us. It's not just me. You get actually two coaches inside of our little membership. And I say little because I just started it. So for me, it's a little membership that is going to close all the gaps for my people that wants to join the Launch Academy, but they are not there yet, right? They are not there yet. So this is closing different kind of gaps. And after we have created these things, we're going to move into creating dream lists. So the people that didn't convert in your event, you are now going to track so you can sell to them. And also you're going to track the people that are in the event that bought, so you can upsell them. So that is going to be the next step. So we're going to build it step by step. We're going to start with this. We move into start tracking these people and doing upsales along the way. So you start making sales every single day. So that is step 2. So clarity, what we talked about in this workshop. And the next step is start building your dream, what I call dream list. It's like a dream 100 list. So I hope any questions, make sure you ask them. You can also go into the Virtual Entrepreneurcity. It's a new group that I started. It's a group that is connected to everyone that wants to master the fundamentals and lead with energy and lead with power and be bold and be standing out and actually claiming your space on the market, because we need to do that, because otherwise we can't become invisible, right? And if no one sees you, you are the world's best kept secret. They're not going to be able to buy from you, even if they needed you and wanted to. So we need to stand our ground. We want to be bold. We want to reach out there. We want to help people. We are here to serve, and we built our business from a place of service. Okay. And that is the people that I want to work with. That is the people that I want to be around. And that is going to be the energy of that group. I just started it. I just started it when we launched this membership in, I think it was June. So it's very early, May, I think it was May. So it's recent, right? And then I started the group, and I believe this is going to be a movement for my people when it comes to master fundamentals. Okay. So thank you so much. It's been lovely to have you here. And the replays are going to stay up. This is not, I'm not going to take this down. I'm going to add the replays inside of the group. I did stream now, but of course, Facebook is going to take the live stream down in 30 days. So I'm going to add the YouTube, and it's on YouTube. So you can go back anytime and watch these. If you want to join the Virtual Entrepreneurcity, yes, it's open all the time. I will, of course, along the way, increase the investment from 29 and increase the investment. But if you come and join us now when we start Monday, so up until Friday, you also get my masterclass that I hosted yesterday as an extra little bonus. And then we kick off on Monday. So thank you so much for being here with me today. I overdid the time with 7 minutes. I'm so sorry for that. I value your time. So the link is in the comments. I will send out both replays, the links to both replays a little bit later today. I'm going to send both out in an email. And then, of course, I will add the link to join the membership as well. If you have any questions about it, just reply on the email, ask me, send me a DM, post in the group. Don't be afraid, just ask out. I will answer any type of questions that you have, okay? I'm here to serve. I'm here to get you result, okay? So thank you so much for being here with me today. Thank you, and I will see you here. Thank you so much, Cher. And I'm so sorry about that we not have the chat open, because since I used the same Zoom link today, I didn't want to change the Zoom link, and I was afraid that if one of the scammers joined and I have the chat open, they would add it in the chat instead, and I need to sit and delete. So I'm so sorry for that. Thank you, I need to. I'm so happy the DMs are coming into me. I have the chat open only to me. That is why it's, and I'm so sorry for that. I'm so excited to have you all here, and it means a lot to me that you are joining and that you didn't leave, even if you can't turn the camera or use the chat. So next time we will, of course, have another Zoom link, so then we can open up the cameras again. So thank you so much, and please stay, even if you don't join the Virtual Entrepreneurcity membership, stay in the group, okay? Because we're going to run more things inside of the group. We are just starting out. We're just starting out, and we are going to speed up, okay? That is what we want. So thank you, everyone. And I will see you inside of the membership or inside my group, and send me any questions that you have. Okay. So thank you. Take care, everyone.